Hey, what is going on guys? Anand here, or Nando Nut, and I'm bringing you something slightly different today. As you've probably realised from the title, I'm going to be doing an analysis video of the Black Ops 2 single player campaign demo that was released or played at E3 a few days ago. I haven't seen any of this around yet. I'm sure Team Martin will be quickly onto that, but I thought I'd make one anyway because I wanted to do one for the the reveal trailer, but I was a bit late, like a month late. So anyway, so we're starting with this opening screen. I'm just going to go through it. There are only a couple of bits where I want to actually stop it, this being one of them. So we can see here from the bottom left, it's set in Los Angeles, or at least this mission is, and as we saw from the reveal trailer, there was a sign for Los Angeles. So that's the location. D. Mason, I believe this is meant to be the son of Alex Mason. I think, was his name Alex? I think so. Who was the protagonist in Black Ops 1, and we can see that the mission is called Protect p.o.t.u.s, not Protus. For some reason the machinima, the COD video says, on the Call of Duty channel says Protus. For those of you who don't know, p.o.t.u.s is an acronym used by the American sort of Secret Service, and it stands for President of the United States, as you may or may not have guessed. And finally we can see that it's set in 2025, and this becomes pretty relevant as we see that, we see there's a fair amount of futuristic stuff. So let's progress with the actual trailer. Okay, so we begin here. We are in some sort of some minibus or van or something, and we are in the process of driving the president. That is the president, that woman there. So the whole idea of this campaign is that, so there's a whole load of futuristic equipment and aircraft and stuff that the US military has built, and as we heard in the reveal trailer, there's a voice that says, what happens when the enemy steals the keys? So it's pretty much about the enemy, whoever that is, the Russians, I'm not sure, stealing the keys to, not literally the keys, but stealing the futuristic military equipment of the Americans and using it against them. So they're basically fighting their own creations, if you like. So we can see, it's pretty chaotic, and we can already see the graphics. They look pretty decent. I'm not too huge on graphics, like I don't really know that much about it, but this looks quite nice to me. They've developed the cityscape pretty well, and and as we can hear, hopefully some original scores will be in there, because I always feel that music in video games is massively underrated and never done well enough. And as we can see, well, not done well enough, but little attention is paid to it, especially in Call of Duty games. So as we can see there, some guy was standing on a stage playing this game in the middle of E3. So that was actually what was happening. And here's our first bit of action where we actually get to control the player. And he brings up his weapon. I believe this is meant to be the XM8, which is a new assault rifle to the Call of Duty series. I was actually in Battlefield Play for Free, which I've started playing recently, so maybe I'll show you some pictures of that or something. And so in this bit here, what our character has to do is he has to get to this manual SAM turret, if you like, this AA gun, and shoot down these pretty futuristic looking planes. If you ask me, it looks a fair amount like, I'd say, something like Terminator, or Crisis or something like that. So definitely pretty cool, although some people aren't too keen on it. So obviously here the idea of interacting with other equipment and turrets. Objective completed. We've still got that little phrase, but the HUD. Well, at the moment it looks quite minimal. But whatever there is of it looks fairly futuristic. Like even the ammo count in the bottom right hand corner, if you can barely see it, it's definitely different to what it usually is. And here we have our first bit of aircraft, hovering jet, which definitely shows up in the future. Again, this reminds me a lot of Terminator. Those planes that could turn their jets downwards and hover. So that's pretty different. And here, we just have to progress. There's a little thingy that says regroup. Although it is in the future, it's definitely not that different to previous ones. So here is the first bit that I wanted to talk about. The first bit I wanted to stop. So there was a machinima there was a machinima. There was an interview with on machinima with one of the developers of the game, and he was talking a lot about how our choices affect the campaign. So choices we make, like which direction to go or something as small as that, can affect how the story turns out. And so not every person has exactly the same experience of the campaign. So here is a small example of that. It's not really, it doesn't seem to be a storyline changing choice, but we can see that on one side we've got the option to snipe, and on the other side we have the option to repel. So I presume that with the repel, you repel down, and you make your way along with the team, shooting people along the way. But as we see here, this guy chooses to take the snipe option, and so we see that he provides some cover for the rest of his team as they get the American president to safety. So let's carry on with that. So yeah, like I said, he chooses to take the snipe option, and as you can hear, the other members of the team are actually saying, what's the call? So it's actually down to us what we do. And so yeah, he sits up on this ledge and camps like a little bitch. While the sorry, what? Oh, I didn't say that. What are you talking about? While the rest of the team takes the president to safety. And here is the infamous sniper scope that everyone has been discussing. And what it basically does is it allows you to shoot through walls. How brilliant and balanced is that? No, but the bars on the right, it looks like you have to sort of, I think you have to hold it down in order to charge it, and the longer you charge it, the more penetrating power the bullet has. When I say the bullet, I believe it fires something like some sort of electrical charge, because there's no way, obviously, a bullet can, on its own, can just penetrate like a truck. And you can see there that even the reload action is pretty futuristic. He takes some sort of triangular barrel and sticks it in the back, as opposed to, just removing the mag and putting a new one in. So all of it makes it look like it's at least in 2025, if not further. But they do say the idea about, what is it? I think processing power doubles every 10 years or 20 years or something. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually implemented by 2025. There's been a lot of speculation. I don't think this is going to be in a multiplayer, because it would just be too overpowered. There's no way you can counter that. The whole point is that with everything, there is a way that your opponent can counter it. Choppers you can get indoors, you can shoot it down. Dogs, you can shoot them. So I doubt they'd implement it, and even if they do, it wouldn't be that powerful. So yeah, as we can see, in the interest of time, he moves on to a new, well, not necessarily a new, but a different mission, using the same weapon. And there are a few interesting things here. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a multiplayer map, what's it called? Oh, I don't know what it's called, I haven't played Modern Warfare 3, but the one in the shopping centre, something like that. And as you can see, he's using his sort of digital gadget watch thing in order to tell these squad of quadrotors, which are sort of small hovering things with machine guns attached to them, where to fire. We've seen this in previous games. Modern Warfare 2, we had the mission in a village where you could signal the tank where to fire. Black Ops, there was a mission where you could tell, I think it was a helicopter where to fire. And here is another point where I briefly want to pause. If we look at the writing, hold X for Type 95 ACOG. So that's clearly a weapon that's returning. People say it's overpowered, maybe they'll fix that, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see about that. So yeah, he chooses not to take the Type 95, and instead to continue on his way through this deserted shopping centre. Along the way, burst firing his weapon at points, aiming horribly, and also signalling his quadrotor squad to fire. We saw that in one of FPS Rush's videos. You can see it's sort of like a remote control hovering copter kind of thing, which it looks pretty cool. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a kill streak in Black Ops 2, kind of similar to the recon drone, except it has weapons on it. That'd be quite fun to use. And yeah, you can see there the HUD actually looks quite different when he gets shot. The red indicator is certainly different to what it has been previously. It looks more futuristic, slightly more angular than usual. Maybe I'm reading into it a bit much. But yeah, as he goes outside, we can see pretty nice scape. Looks up to admire the lens flare from the sun, and the explosions, again, realistic. So yeah, all in all, it seems pretty good so far. I'm quite looking forward to playing this. as you can see, he brings out the Uber scope again. I wonder if it's going to have a name, and shoots that guy, even though I don't think he's just sitting on top of a ledge. So yeah, progressing through the level, and then soon enough, I believe, after he's blown up that car, at some point there is a massive explosion. I hate to spoil the surprise for you guys, but yeah, to be honest, it seems like a regular Call of Duty mission, just with some futuristic aspects to it. So yeah, they said they were going to revolutionize it and whatever, and it will be a bit different, but I think let's not get too ahead of ourselves. In the end, I think it's just going to be another Call of Duty campaign. So yeah, as we can see here, for some reason that huge building collapses, and then we progress into the next stage of this mission. The classic sort of, blurry camera shake when you've been hit. Yeah, and we can see down in the bottom right corner, okay, first of all we've got the Type 25, I don't know if you saw that, but apparently this is what the weapon's called. Another new weapon to Call of Duty, and the HUD itself looks fairly futuristic. You can see the frag symbol in some sort of square brackets, which is a bit different to usual. And yeah, so here's our first experience of flying aircraft. We had in Black Ops, we had a mission where you had to fly a helicopter, take out a couple of other helicopters and stuff, but yeah, maybe, is this the first introduction of vehicles into Call of Duty, really? I don't know. People don't seem to want this in multiplayer, but I don't think it's going to be sort of Battlefield extent where you actually have to take off properly and watch your altitude and stuff like that. As you can see, you use the left stick to move and the right stick to look around, so it's really not that complicated, and using the triggers to fire cannons and missiles. So yeah, this is kind of mission, a follow and protect mission, and I think the HUD's just it's not really that functional, it's just to look good. Got an altitude, an altimeter, system okay, and just the general visuals of the plane. So yeah, in general it just looks like you're going around shooting little targets. You can see they're marked out for you in little with dashed squares. I don't know. I don't think we get an option in this, as in you can choose what you want to do. I think in this section we just have to jump in the plane and shoot down these tanks and vehicles and stuff, which I think it's good. It provides a different aspect to the Call of Duty campaign, as opposed to, it does kind of get boring just running around, running through cities, shooting people with guns. So instead we get to shoot people with missiles. Hooray! But yeah, it is slightly different. Here we see he has to take down a helicopter, and just, why not just shoot the whole building instead? It's fine, it's cool. So yeah, I think, this is where it gets slightly different. Is it here? I'm not sure. But I certainly hope, when I first watched this I was like, whoa, do we have to, I certainly hope we don't have to control it like this. Like, that's pretty quick. I don't know if I'd be able to not crush, but it seems like mostly our job is just to lock on and take out those using Sky Buster missiles. Pretty technical name. But yeah, that is the demo of the Black Ops single-player campaign, Black Ops 2 single-player campaign. I hope you found this video somewhat informative. If you did, then leave a like or whatever, and I shall see you soon. Goodbye.